Welcome into the Round Show. I'm Brad Wakai. That is Tyson Gentry. We are rocking, baby.
Bro, I know I've gained weight, but you can't call us the Round Show.
Oh, did I skip something, dude? I'm sorry. The Round Table. I'm all through. I'm too excited, Tyson. We got our bowl preview, our part one here today. We're going through a ton of games. I'm excited.
I mean, come on, man. Like, I woke up, I looked in the mirror, was talking to myself. I went to the gym this morning. Like, I was feeling good. And then I get on, and you just call us the Round Show, dude. I don't know how to take that other than offensive.
I think I got a haircut. My head's looking nice and round. And so
we're rebranding, basically.
Yeah. The bald in the beard.
That's not bad, actually.
Well, we are the Round Table. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. We have our bowl preview. We are ready to rock. We're going to do part one today. So we're going through all the games from starting Friday into Tuesday, and then we'll be back with you at part two. But that's for a later date. Right now, we're previewing the big games we got upcoming to help make you some money. Tyson, this is where we make our bread here. We got information, we got analysis. This is where we buckle down and make some dough.
Yeah, I mean, this is fun too because, like, you often hear the phrase, especially like when you're betting, you hear double up to catch up, but if you can get off to a hot start at the first weekend of bowl season, you could, like, first of all, the goal is to always make money. So you make your money, and then you can have a kitty to play with for the rest of bowl season. So then you're not having to keep, man, I hit my credit limit today. I don't know. Like, yep. This is where the bread's buttered, brother.
Absolutely. So we got a big preview for that. But first, we just got to say rest in peace to Mike Leach. Just super sad news. You know, the head coach of Mississippi State passed away, complications to a heart condition. Was honestly shocked when I saw, you know, that he was in critical condition. And then obviously there was bad news coming that, you know, he was going to need a miracle, and it was kind of a foregone conclusion he was going to pass away. But super sad. I loved all the tributes that have been coming out and all the stories about Mike Leach, somebody who's just a different dude. And, you know, we don't have the stories that others were sharing. You know, just we didn't know Mike Leach. We just knew him as people who enjoyed him as a person, enjoyed him as a football coach. So if you're wondering or looking for some stories, you know, go on social media, Google. There's a ton of great stories about Mike Leach. But we know for sure, Tyson, the game and college football is not going to be the same without him.
Oh, man, it stinks. Like, it's one of those ones where he's universally, like, revered, right? Except for, what's his name? The dude that said he locked him in the closet.
Oh, yeah, that weird thing.
Adam Smith or whatever. True. But, yeah. So besides that guy, like, this guy was just universally loved. I mean, I'm calling on the College Football Hall of Fame. They have the rule that you have to be 600 or better to make the Hall of Fame with your winning percentage. I think Mike Leach is at 591. But, like, this is a guy you can't tell the story of college football over the last 20 years without, because you might say, like, his teams were never that good. But, like, look at the coaching tree. Like, look at what he started. Look at where college football is at. Like, people weren't doing this in 97, right? And Mike Leach shows up at Oklahoma. He's like, hey, we're going to spin the shit out the ball. We're throwing it all over the yard. No, that'll never work. Go to Wazoo or go to Tech, win a bunch of games. Go to Washington State, win a bunch of games. Like, what do you want from the guy? I mean, he's a winner. And he never got the chance to be at Alabama or one of these other schools. Like, 600 is such an arbitrary number to let somebody into the Hall of Fame. Like, there's coaches that, like Ed Ogeron's career winning percentage, you know, like that guy, like, it's not even the same stratosphere, brother.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And, you know, Mike Leach and he created this thing called the air raid offense. Like, he created his own version of an offense, like Don Shula, you know, with his offense, you know, Air Coryell, you know, the different things you go down the list of different offenses. You know, the wishbone, whatever Nebraska was running with their, you know, wing tee, whatever you go down. Then Mike Leach created his own the air raid. So I mean, he's definitely an innovator and somebody who changed the way that we look at and watch college football.
And he was 15 years ahead, man. That's the thing is, like, you look at the SEC 3 years ago caught on to like how he's been playing football for 20 years, and like maybe it doesn't fly in every conference, but you got to celebrate the differences, man. That's what makes college football cool. That's why bowl season's awesome, because we finally get to, like, you're like, okay, this is the sixth best team in this conference versus the fourth best team in this conference. Let's see how they match up.
Absolutely. So there's no easy way to transition from that. So rest in peace, Mike Leach. But we got to get into our betting show here. Bowl season bets, part one. Here we go. We're going to start here on Friday. Oh, I can't wait, man. The Bahamas Bowl. What a way to start, too. I mean, Miami, Ohio, and UAB. It's not like UAB is really like, oh, we need to escape where we were at, down in Birmingham. They got nice weather. But Miami, this is like a vacation for them. Let's see here. UAB, 10.5-point favorites. Last time Tyson and I were on, we gave out UAB at 9.5. So 1 point of closing value here on this line. Tyson, the over-under is 44.5 juiced over. Is there anything you're playing in this one besides the 9.5 we gave out?
I think I'm on the under 44.5. And I like Miami doesn't defend the run very well at all. And Dwayne McBride is one of the better running backs in college football. Like I think he has 1,700 yards this season, right? And Miami, Ohio can't throw the ball. So I think we're going to be in unless we get a track meet breaking out and the guys are busting off 40, 50-yard runs left and right, I have a hard time seeing this one get to a 45, 50-point game. Like, I think UAB wins this one comfortably, but I just think that, if you're looking for a high scoring, you should wait like 2 hours or 12 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a low scoring game too. The offensive linemen for Miami, Ohio are out. Brett Gabbert, the QB, opted out. He said he may be coming back. I don't know, is it really an opt-out or not? I don't know the situation there, but I already gave out 9.5 here, so I'm not going to go an official at 10.5. I lean there, though. I think UAB controls this game and wins. Whatever the number is in the pool here, I like UAB to cover if you're doing something for the office or whatever. I like UAB to cover their number in this one.
And no disrespect real fast to Avion Smith, the quarterback from Miami, Ohio, but that dude, he's just the best athlete on his high school team that got to this position. Like, he's not a college quarterback.
This one's a banger in the Cure Bowl here. UTSA, Conference USA champs versus the Sun Belt champs in Troy. Troy 1.5-point favorites. The over-under is 55.5. And as always in bowl season, you got to watch out for opt-outs, transfers, and injuries. So a little update. UTSA, Brendan Brady, the running back, is most likely out. He's second on the team in yards, also has the most attempts carrying the ball. And the wide receiver is two wide receivers for Troy are going to be missing this game. The fourth and fifth most receiving yards of that program, Jabry Barber and Marcus Rogers, both out of this one as well. Anything you like here?
Oh, this is like watching your kids fight for me. This is like two of my favorite programs in the country squaring off. I've been banging the Troy drum pretty much all year long. I mean, these guys are really good, and if they didn't have some untimely circumstances as far as the way their games played out, both these teams realistically, to me, they play with anybody in the top. Like, you go from 15 to 25, they're competitive games, which is pretty cool to say for UTSA and Troy. I'm going to take, and this hurts because I love Troy, but I'm going to take UTSA for the simple fact that I think it would be fucking awesome if the Roadrunners win 12 games in back-to-back years. Like, to me, that's got to be the greatest accomplishment in school history. Like, I don't know anything about UTSA besides the fact that I used to run them sometimes in the NCAA games. But like, as a school as a whole, I got to imagine this is up there.
You taking money line or 1.5? I
mean, brother, you know how it is. When it's 1.5, you got to go with the money line. Like, I get the extra 12 cents.
That's interesting too. It's at minus 102. I mean, normally the straddle would be somewhere in plus money. Here on FanDuel, it's minus 102. But Tyson liking the Roadrunners. I like the Roadrunners too. I love Frank Harris, their quarterback. He's going to come back for a crazy 7th year. Like, I don't even know how that's allowed.
It seems illegal.
The dude's going to be 25 years old. Like, think about that. But I'm going to go with Troy minus 1.5 here. I'm saving a little bit of juice, 4 cents of it here on FanDuel. Money line's minus 118. 1.5 is minus 114. I like Troy. They have a really good defense. This is going to be the best defense UTSA's faced all year. And then Troy's offense finally started to figure it out. We just saw them absolutely eviscerate Coastal Carolina. I like Troy in this one in a big, big statement game for them. They finally just won the conference championship game. Why not get another victory here in the bowl game and make a statement against UTSA? Let's go Troy minus 1.5.
Best team in the entire South.
Oh man, dude, better than your boys at LSU.
Better than LSU. Better than Bama. Better than Georgia.
It's going to be 70 degrees at the Cure Bowl down there in Orlando, Florida. Now, here's quite a shift here. The Cincinnati Bearcats taking on Louisville in the Fenway Bowl, which is going to be 39 degrees at kickoff. Not a paradise there. Not really much of a getaway for these two teams. And this is obviously the Scott Satterfield Bowl. Satterfield leaves Louisville, goes to Cincy. He's not going to coach in this one. Here's the other interesting thing.
Which is whack, bro. Like, you gotta let him, like, he should be able to coach both, man. Like, he should go back and forth.
The other sideline.
He's in both locker rooms at halftime. He's like, man,
that'd be insane. He's bringing his co-defensive coordinators, Wesley McGriff and Brian Brown, and also the QB coach, Pete Thomas. They won't be participating in this game for the Louisville side. And then the offensive coordinator, Lance Taylor, well, he's going to be the head coach at Western Michigan. Who's even coaching for Louisville in this one? Malik Cunningham opted out due to injury. Their QB1 was second in rush yards. And also Travion Cooley, the running back's out, and a couple more transfers. And it's not like Cincy's getting really much anything either. Here's what's crazy. Luke Fickell's gone, their head coach. Their second, third, fourth, and fifth receivers and yards are out due to injury, transfer, or going to the draft. And their QB1 out for the year.
Yeah, Ben Bryant's done.
This is a mess, Tyson. Is there anything that you even remotely want to play here?
Well, I'm pissed because this opened at 44.5 for the over-under.
It did.
And I was so slow. I think that was a no-brainer. Like, it's down 5 points in like however long the lines have been open. I don't totally know off the top of my head, but like that's a huge shift. And you know what, dude? I think I'm going to lean into it. I think I'm going to take under 39.5. Like, Cincinnati, the only way that they're going to win this game is by running the ball. And Louisville, the only way that they're going to win this game is if I don't see Louisville winning this game like at all. So I guess like I'm with Cincy money line just because of the physicality and things like that. But like it's kind of an interesting spot here for Cincy because some of these guys might be like, I got to audition like against my new coach's former team. Like he knows these guys the best. That's why I think Satterfield should be like low key kind of, hey man, 47 has his tendency. Like he's got to be helping his new guys out. Come on.
I'm with you there on the under too. I know we're not getting good value here.
5 points, dude.
I'm going under, man. Listen, Cincy's defense is awesome, and then you take Malik Cunningham out. How is Louisville going to even be able to move the ball, let alone score? I just don't see it for them. And on the flip side, how is Cincy going to even – who are they throwing to? Like redshirt freshman? Like, I got to go under here. Let's not forget this is – like I said, it's going to be freezing. How often do these guys even want to play, or do they even want to get up to this game for this game? I'm taking under with you here, Tyson. Okay, here's an interesting one. The Las Vegas Bowl, we have Florida and Oregon State. Ton of opt-outs for the Florida side. Some interesting big names also opting out for Oregon State side as well. The quarterback for Florida, Anthony Richardson, he's going to the draft. He's gone. Justin Shorter, second in receiving yards for Florida. He's gone. Also important people on the defense, linebacker Ventrell Miller, and D-tackle Jervin Dexter, they're both out third and fifth in tackles respectively. So that's kind of a shell thing here. Then Oregon State, Chance Nolan's transferring. I saw that he opted out. I don't know if that's official. Did he say he could play and then transfer after? So while we're giving a pick here, that'd be important, but there's some other transfers as well. But this is a huge line. I mean, Oregon State minus 10.5. That seems crazy to me.
It does on the surface for sure, I think, but like, if you've been watching Oregon State over the last couple of years, and I keep saying like building programs, but that's like if you go back to the preseason show, it was like Oregon State was actually good a season ago, and then they're better this year. And to be honest, they're going to return a lot of production again. And I think that this is almost a momentum builder for Oregon State because the Pac-12 is going to look real different in a year, the Pac-8 or 6 or whoever's left, basically. I think Oregon State wins this game, covers the 10.5, and emerges as a contender on the West Coast going into next year, man. I mean, Oregon State, they paid me more than anybody else pretty much over the course of this season. I got to rock it one more time. Plus, I hate Florida.
Yeah, I'm behind here. I was reading the Chance Nolan. He's officially opted out. So there's been some interesting things. Sort of people have been entering the transfer portal, but like, hey, I'm going to play in the bowl game. And it's like mucking it up a little bit. Jesus, man. I got Tyson. So Tyson's going Oregon State, laying the 10.5. Man, I mean, they're covering machines. My concern is away from home, they haven't been as good. But, coming down to Vegas, this is a huge bowl.
This is what I'll say. This is kind of my little side angle on this, if you want to call it that. I think that if you put Florida's stats and Florida's talent and took the name Florida away and you wrote UTSA or Troy or something on there, I think everybody in the country is smashing Oregon State minus 10.5. I think it's a lot of name value with Florida, early season stuff that people are holding on to, and those guys aren't even playing.
Yeah, I'm going against you in this one. I'm going mano a mano.
Love it.
Florida plus 10.5 here. I just can't see a Pac-12 team beating an SEC team by 10 in the hook. I just can't see it. And I know Anthony Richardson's out, and they're going to have Jack Miller, who's transferred in from Ohio State. This is going to be his first collegiate start. This is going to be a roller coaster here, and we see all the transfers out of Florida. Sometimes that's not a bad thing. The people who don't want to be there, maybe it's addition by subtraction. They're gone now. The people who want to be there and play for the new head coach, they're going to be auditioning. They're going to be flying around. They want to be at Florida. I think that's a huge boost here. I like Florida getting 10.5. I just can't see a Pac-12 team beating an SEC team by this much. I just can't see it. So I'm going to roll with Florida here.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this one. Now, because we have the states here, we got the tiny letters, but Washington State, Fresno State in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Fresno State laying 3 in the hook. Anything you like here, Tyson?
So this is 53.5 on just about every other book I could find. It's 52.5 on FanDuel. And if you told me that I got Jake Haener, Cam Ward, Eric Morris, Tedford, right, all in the same game, and you give me 52.5 points, I think this thing smashes the over. This thing might smash the over by the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah. Dude,
I mean, these are two of the best quarterbacks that nobody knows about in college football at the moment, I think.
I think there's going to be a lot of points in this one as well. And the interesting thing here, another angle, and I should have led with, the top 2 wide receivers for Washington State are transferring. They're not playing in this game. Deshaun Stribling, first in receiving yards, and Donovan Ollie, second receiving yards out. Also, Renard Bell is out with injury. He's fourth in receiving yards. Offensive tackle Jack Wilson, he also plays on the basketball team. He's left the program. He's like, I'm going to go play ball. I'm done. So, interesting. I mean, the linebackers are out. Travion Brown and Dayon Henley. Brown transferred. Henley's going to the draft. Francisco Moago transferred as well. They are short at that position, very thin at that position. Due to that, I'm going to go Fresno State -3, and I'm also going to make that my play of the week here. They're going to make a statement. Jake Haener, man. I love Jake Haener. They kind of punished Boise State's defense in the second half in the Mountain West Conference game. That's a really good defense. And Washington State is very porous. I think Fresno State can score at will on them. I like your over pick as well. I think maybe if you like this number with Fresno, look to parlay it with the over too. But I love Fresno State -3.5. I'm going to make that my play of the week in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. All right, keep on trucking. And now these are the Saturday games. We got a ton of Saturday games here. Rice takes on Southern Miss in the LendingTree Bowl. Very, very interesting matchup in a way. Rice got in because they're good academically. They're sitting at 5-7. So I don't know. Do they deserve to be here? Do they not? Right now, Southern Miss is laying 6.5 in this one. Anything you like here?
Look, man, I admittedly have not watched very much Rice or very much Southern Miss, but I did watch Southern Miss beat Tulane, and that is all I'm going off of, and they're going to beat the shit out of Rice.
I'm with you. I'm with you here. Here's one thing that stood out to me too, Tyson. They have no opt-outs as of now. And now, of course, we're doing this.
It's Will Hall over there, right? That's their head coach is Will Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got him moving a bit, man.
I like this team. I like him a lot. And you would think a team kind of mid-major, here's an audition. Hey, I'm going to transfer, go play up. No, he's got them bought in. It seems like they want to be here. They want to make a statement and win this game. Rice kind of lucked their way into this one. let me see where the LendingTree Bowl is. It's in Mobile, Alabama. So not necessarily a destination. I mean, I guess it's a nice part of Alabama, right on the water where the Senior Bowl is going to be. But I don't know, man. This seems like a Southern Miss to me as well. I'm gonna roll with you -6.5 here. Here's one that could have some fireworks. here's one that could have some fireworks. I don't really know what's going on in this one, but SMU is laying 3.5 against BYU in the New Mexico Bowl. Very, very interesting stuff kind of whispered around at BYU. The backup quarterback, Jacob Conover, he's transferring. He's not there anymore. Their QB1, Jaron Hall, he's injured. Could miss this game, could opt out. This opened at 1.5 SMU. It's gone to 3.5 on the news that Jaron Hall might be gone. They'd be starting the QB3 who hasn't taken a snap all season. On the flip side with SMU, their coach had some interesting things to say, Tyson. He's basically like, yeah, we're not going to use all our bowl practices because I need to go recruit Texas. And this is the week to do it.
I'm busy. Like,
what? So how much are they even like thinking about this one? Is this even a big game for them? Rashee Rice, their best wide receiver.
That's such a bummer, man. That's such a bummer because he's an All-American. I mean, he's so good. He's amazing. Tanner Mordecai is playing in his 14th consecutive bowl game, which is cool for him. Man, I mean, this is a weird one. This is one that like I want so bad. Like I'm leaning SMU -3.5 here, and I'm probably end up playing it on Saturday, but I'm not going to give it out officially on the show. To me, like there's so many variables here, and another thing to just kind of consider is like BYU is Big 12 bound. Like this is almost like, hey, you want to get in the club? Like you guys got to be able to beat SMU. Like you got to be able to show up. So to move to 3.5, like your mind says maybe I should take BYU, but then you start looking down through it. It's like, man, I don't know who's playing.
I have no clue what's going to happen in this one. Here's another thing too. BYU's associate head coach and special teams coach Ed Lamb, he took the head coaching job at Northern Colorado in the FCS. So then he's bringing the defensive end and safeties coach Preston Hadley with him, 2 analysts, Blair Peterson and Justin Waldersheed, and then a defensive graduate assistant as well. Also, BYU fired their defensive coordinator after the season. This is also a team that couldn't stop anybody, and now they're losing people on that side of the ball. It seems like a mess here. Like I want to play SMU laying the 3.5. I don't even know how serious they are about this one. So I'm going to go here, and I may get suckered into this, but I'm going to go over 64.5. Like both teams, they may not be in it. I don't know. I'm just going to go over 64.5, cross my fingers, hope it hits, and let's go with that.
It's a better play than the under if people are checked out, man.
That's what I'm thinking, right? That's what I'm thinking. At least that's what I'm banking on. At least I don't know. Okay, last one for the Saturday game in the Frisco Bowl. North Texas taking on Boise State. 41 degrees in Frisco. That seems strange. That time of kick here. Boise State 10.5-point favorites. This is a game that I'm super excited to watch, and I think it's going to be interesting. Anything you're leaning towards right now?
I mean, yeah, there's something I'm leaning towards for sure, and that's Boise State -10.5. Like this to me feels like the classic. I'm gonna overanalyze and overthink this and all this stuff. Like North Texas interim head coach, Boise State kind of rolling. Like 3 of the last 4, they look like they might have found a little something. So like my head and my heart say Boise State, like that's the easy pick. But I already know I'm gonna dive into these analytics. And I'm like, man, I got the film on it. There's 76 from North Texas. Like I think he's going day 3. Like you know what I mean? And then like that's gonna swing the whole thing for me. I just think this might be the don't overthink it play of the week for me with Boise State.
Well, I'm right there with you, Tyson. I mean, I love this Boise State team now that Taylon Green's the quarterback. Hank Bachmeier, he was good last year. He was fucking terrible this year. Like he was like the worst quarterback in the country, and that includes Spencer Petras. Like that, I mean, he was horrible. Dirk Cutter took over calling the plays. Dirk Cutter, who was head coach at the Tampa Bay Bucks. This offense, besides that Fresno State game in the Mountain West Championship game, they've been awesome under Taylon Green. North Texas can't stop a nosebleed. Boise State, if they don't have to throw the ball, they literally won't. They're going to look like Navy. Like they'll just run it every single time, and I don't think North Texas is going to be able to stop them. I like Boise State as well. I'm going to lay the 10.5. I'm not going to get scared away by that hook. I'm hoping that it can come down a little bit to 10.5. If not, I'm not going to be shied away. I'm going to lay it here. Another thing too, and you mentioned it, they fired their head coach despite reaching the conference title game. Are these players like what kind of like what the fuck? Like, are you serious?
To me, like this is the greed of like these college programs. It's like how much better realistically can it get? Like not to be disrespectful to North Texas, but like what do you want? Like what do you think your ceiling is? Like year over year, like winning 8 games isn't acceptable at North Texas. Going to the conference final isn't acceptable at North Texas. Like you can't be kicking guys out for playing. Maybe there's other things going on with it, but when I saw that, I was just like, okay, all right.
It was crazy to me too. Okay, here's the Monday game. Here's what's going to kick us off on Monday. Marshall versus UConn, the darlings this year in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Talk about a nice game to play in down in Myrtle Beach. Although it says it's going to be 50 degrees. That seems crazy to me. I got to tell you, this was play of the week worthy for me. I don't know where you're going with this. Why don't you start us off?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be real simple with it. UConn beat Liberty. Marshall beat Notre Dame. I like they both have good wins on the season. I think Marshall's is more impressive. But to be honest, Brad, I'm most intrigued by under 40.5.
Ooh.
Like it's so hard because I so badly want to be bought into UConn. Like it's cool. Like they're in a bowl game. Like how nuts is that? We've reached Kansas levels with UConn. It's like I never thought that would happen. I'm a little nervous Marshall might run them off the field. So I'm going 10.5, and I might want to parlay that with under 40.
Oh, man. Okay, so you're going with the Thundering Herd, Marshall minus 10.5. Here's the good news, Tyson. I'm going to say it for both of our sakes here. I'm going to be with you first and foremost, 10.5. We might get a 10 here because everybody looks at UConn and it's like a feel-good story. Woo, UConn was covering and everybody thinks they suck. And Jim Moore, they got him right here. This is going to be the worst team Marshall's played since like
in a while, man.
Yeah, they're going to slaughter UConn. Like they're going to kill them. Like there's no opt-outs for Marshall. Okay, are they motivated? They don't have to be motivated. They're better. Like they are going to run this team off the field. If this gets to 10.5 or to 10, that's a lock. It's already in. I'm going to bet this at 10.5, but I'm going to wait for a 10 because that's going to be an absolute hammer play. If it gets to 10 and no hook, my goodness gracious. Come on, public. You love UConn. Give us the number, please.
Come on.
Tuesday, last couple games here. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl in Boise. We're going to see the matchup between Eastern Michigan and San Jose State. 19 degrees over there in Boise on the Smurf turf. Man, oh man, this is an interesting one to kind of look at stylistically. Anything that you like right now?
Yeah, I love the over. I love over 54.5. This is one of those ones where I just like this is where it pays to, be up at 12 o'clock at night or whatever, and the San Jose State game's on. Like before you go into bed. Both these teams, they're both underrated programs, in my opinion, but they both just want to score the ball. Like that's how they want to play football. We want to beat you 35-28 week over week. And when two teams like that get together, 54.5 to me, I thought that number was pretty low.
I'm with you. 54.5, dude. I like the San Jose State game and I know you're out in Mountain Time. Me being on the East Coast is DGen time for me when I'm staying up for the West Coast game. I loved it when I watched this team. I loved what they do on offense, man. They're explosive. They're fast. We know Eastern Michigan in the MAC. They want to get up and down the field. Honestly, you kind of want to fade the MAC conference in these games. But being like San Jose, you're like, man, 19 degrees, a California team going out there. San Jose State likes to run the ball and punish you. Like, yeah, they can throw it, but they like to get on the ground too. So they can generate explosive plays by running, which I think is going to help to get this over. So I'm with you here. I'm going to go over 54.5 on the Smurf turf between these two teams.
Do you have it in front of you who's calling this game?
I don't.
Damn, I'm really hoping for Brock Heward because I love nothing more than when he gets confused on the difference between a dual concept and outside zone concept, and he's just fucking saying shit that like isn't. I'm just like, man, I know you played, but like, come on.
His daughter plays basketball for the Montana Grizz, the Lady Grizz.
Man, I should know that. She's down the street. I got to go watch one of their games. I mean, I don't want to shit on the Montana Grizzlies basketball program here. We love Coach Travis DeCure on the show, but like the men, it's gonna be a long year, brother.
Oh no, I hate to hear that.
Bro, they almost lost to Northern.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I hate to hear that. You know what would be nice if we were at Tyson, the Boca Raton Bowl, baby, 75 degrees down in Florida, seeing Liberty versus Toledo. This has got to be a vacation for Toledo, man. It can't be beautiful in Ohio right now. They're laying 4.5. Obviously, the news of Liberty, Hugh Freeze gone. He's taken the Auburn job. Let me see if I have everything exactly pulled up. No news on who he's bringing. But Josh Aldrich is going to be their coach, the interim head coach. He's been a staffer there since 2019, so he's familiar with the program and everything. That helps. Couple opt-outs, wide receiver, Javon Lofton, Dre Butler at defensive line, Ahmad Walker at linebacker for Liberty. And then the QB2, Tucker Gleason's out, but QB1 to start the season is back. So that's a big thing for Toledo. And then one of their offensive linemen, Lavelle Dumont, is going to transfer. You like anything in this one?
To me, this is like, I know you just said we don't like playing the MAC so much, and I love the MAC. Like I love the MAC, too. And to me, this is the MAC champion, conference champion, against the team in somewhat of a little bit of turmoil at the moment. Like Liberty's, their whole world just got flipped upside down. Nobody thought Hugh Freeze was going until the 11th hour, and then it was like, oh shit, he's gone. I just think this is a Toledo team trying to put a stamp on one of the better records, better seasons they've put together in the last decade or so. And this is a Liberty team that has a lot of guys that might have a foot out the door.
You like Toledo? That's my thing too. It's like the MAC champion. How often do they win? I want to do a little research on that in the bowl game, but it's not like the MAC loses every single game here. And like you said, the Liberty's in a little bit of a limbo here. It was kind of shocking that Hugh Freeze actually picked up and left. Looked like a couple of times there was a ton of adversity in the program the entire year with games they shouldn't have lost, and it was strange. I like Toledo as well. I'm going to lay the 4.5. I think this is going to close higher, to be completely honest with you. I'd say get this number in now. There could be a potential to middle something, but I like Toledo in this one. I don't see in any other way. Maybe an over 53.5 too. I can see that definitely being reached, but Toledo should be able to run their offense in this weather. They should be able to pick apart Liberty. So I'm going to roll with the Rockets here.
How many people in the stands at this game you think? Not very
many.
Bro, it's going to be like 5:30 or whatever there. You're getting right off the golf course. You're going to go watch Toledo play football? I don't think so. I don't think there's very many people going to this one.
I'm in agreement with you there. Okay, Tyson, you have some specials that we want to run through for a couple minutes here. Very interesting stuff that FanDuel's trying to give out.
Yeah, I think these are pretty cool. They're doing the highest scoring game amongst all FBS bowl games. Doesn't include national championship, obviously, okay. And then lowest scoring game as well, and then highest scoring team, lowest scoring team. And actually, we just had some action on this. Oregon, North Carolina was plus 1,000. Now they're plus 950 as the favorites for the highest scoring game. But when you run through these, one of them, man, that I'm intrigued on quite a bit. That Washington State Fresno State football game is plus 4,700 to be the highest scoring game of bowl season. To me, that looks like the best value on the board, especially when you consider something like LSU Purdue's plus 3,000, right? Central Florida Duke's plus 2,100. I think you're getting a lot better value there at plus 4,700 than a lot of these things. But this might not be a don't overthink it too. Bo Nix is getting some smoke to go way higher in the draft than you and I ever thought he could do. This is the last one if he wants to play. And North Carolina, Josh Downs, I don't think is playing. I think he's done. Yeah.
Yep.
So that is the only kind of caveat here. But like, that might be an easy play that I'm overthinking.
What's Coastal Carolina and East Carolina?
Let's see if they have plus 2,300.
Woof, because I'm looking at this is the last ride for East Carolina's QB, Naylor, who's been there for a while, or Ehlers or something. The all-time leading passer. He can shred him up. We just saw Coastal Carolina get bombed by Troy. Grayson McCall says he's transferring, but he's going to play in this game. There could be a lot of points in that one. Like I'm talking like 50-50. Like that would be something, especially at that price, I would definitely try to roll something on.
And one other one that I'm intrigued by, and I'm curious on your thoughts, but Memphis, Utah State plus 2,200.
Man, Memphis' offense can go, man. But my concern is Utah State's quarterback play isn't quite what it normally is. But
can Memphis get us there by themselves? Can they score 85 points?
Utah State, yeah. I mean, they could. That offense is explosive. You said there's one for unders too?
For the lowest scoring game. So this is where it gets a little wild to me. Iowa versus Kentucky is the leader on the board at plus 400. Second is Cincinnati, Louisville plus 1,000. That feels like a better value for sure than Iowa, Kentucky. And I think that these all opened pretty close to each other. And I think that the public has now bet the Iowa Kentucky game down to that point by taking that number, taking that as the play so many times that now it almost doesn't feel really like it's worth it to me.
Right. Here's what I would do. And out of those two, I would definitely try to do Louisville and Cincy. That'd be my play. Baylor Air Force is interesting to me.
2,700.
2,700. Now here's why. Air Force we know is going to run the ball. Baylor wants to run the ball too. Air Force can stop the run. Baylor can stop the run. This just might be the ball's in play like hockey the entire time. Like there's no passes, there's nobody going out of bounds, and there's rarely any first downs unless it's in short yardage situations. That to me is a look at what could easily be the most low scoring game.
And one that I really like. This is where it kind of gets messed up, right, for us because this is the true DGen coming out. But like Miami, Ohio versus UAB plus 1,700. I think that has a real shot to be the lowest scoring game of bowl season, but it's the first one.
Right.
And so then you're watching every other game for the rest of the entire month, and you're just hoping, like, please score 15 points total. Come on. And that to me feels like a heart attack.
UL Lafayette and Houston, another potential dark horse for most points as well. Just thinking about it, Houston can't stop anybody. I mean, maybe they finally figure it out, but it feels like, Dana's horrible. Dana Holgerson's horrible in bowl season. How committed are they? That could be worth the flyer. I would. The other ones that we mentioned would definitely be my favorite before that.
Well, one that I didn't mention, I guess, for the highest scoring game, but like Pittsburgh UCLA feels like it should be better than plus 3,200. It feels like a perfect clash of styles as far as the way these guys play football, the way they want to play.
Right.
Like this could be 45-44, and that might lead it. Oof. I mean, the way like Pittsburgh wants to spread you out, go all over the place. UCLA wants to go quick. We want to run 3 plays in 10 seconds. We want to score touchdowns. Like when it's like for like, we tend to get some high scoring games in these bowl games.
Absolutely. I love that. There's some value there for everybody. We're going to be hunting that too. We appreciate you guys. Here, bowl season bets part 1.
Wait, I got one more. Sorry.
Yeah.
So for the lowest scoring team in all FBS games, Kentucky's number 1 on the board at plus 1,100.
Okay.
Brad, we're not letting Iowa slip through our fingers at plus 3,100.
Iowa?
Plus 3,100 to be the lowest scoring team
who's
in bowl
weekend. Them? Or who's above them on the board?
Mississippi State, Middle Tennessee State, Florida, Wyoming, Oklahoma State, Rice, Cincinnati, Syracuse, Miami of Ohio, UConn, and Kentucky.
That's insane.
Feels wrong. feels like people are anticipating 10 safeties.
What the fuck? That's crazy. I can't believe that one. Okay, we're gonna have to dive into that a little bit. And man. Okay, well. Something to think about here. Bowl season bets part 1 is complete. We just gave out all the picks for this one. We'll be back live on Twitch, live on Twitter on Tuesday night after the bowl games we just discussed. We'll be previewing the next batch of bowl games. So that'll be bowl season bets part 2. If you don't really know what I'm talking about, just join us. Follow us on our social media pages so you can be up to date with what's going on here. Instagram's @_the roundtable pod_. TikTok is the same. And then our Twitter is @TRT_pod. We really appreciate the support. Please like, subscribe, and share, comment. We want you to get in our chalkboard as well, Tyson. I think you're going to be starting to post some more college basketball picks as we start ramping down here in college football.
Oh, yeah. And if you missed it, the Alabama-Houston game over the last week was the best game that will be played probably in the regular season of college basketball.
Absolutely. So we'll be back with you guys for our NFL reaction and NFL bets Thursday. Until then, peace.